Being a single mom and doing it all by yourself is brutal. Learn the brain and energy tools to get back to your center and overcome your challenges. Welcome to Single Moms Doing It All. Happy Mother's Day 2021. And if you're listening to that later, you can still celebrate again the fact that you are a mother. So I hope you're enjoying your day, because I'm going to publish this episode on Sunday, Mother's Day. And I wanted to give you some ideas about celebrating your own motherhood and maybe celebrating your mother, even if she's here with you or if she's already gone. If she passed, I'm sending you love, because it's always hard on Mother's Day when your mom passed. And in her memory, you can do something too. So what I wanted to give you today as an idea, and before I go there, if you are not on my email list, you may want to be, because I just prepared, I did something for mothers on my mailing list, a gift for mothers in the form of 4 questions that will help you celebrate and appreciate and sometimes get back to be a little bit, to be aligned with higher vibrating emotions as a mother when days are not so easy, in the form of a video. So if you're not on my mailing list, go on my website, singlemomsdoingitall.com, and grab the free Back to Peace kit for moms, plural. And as part of that kit, you'll receive the video as well. So now, Mother's Day. What are you doing? First of all, come into the group and let us know. Let us know what you're doing. The group is Single Moms Doing It All on Facebook. I'll tell you what I've done. I wanted to go hiking with the kids and then do a barbecue, but I have a lot of allergies and seasonal asthma lately, and it was quite windy today in Vegas, and I don't want to end up having to use my inhaler too much, especially that I'm trying to switch to more natural ways. And I don't want to end up like it was the case this week, with a day where I couldn't even talk to my sister on the phone. I was so out of breath. It was horrible. So we decided that we will probably go to the pool, suntan a little bit, like enjoy yourselves, and then do a barbecue at my house. So what are you doing? And usually on Mother's Day, my kids, when they were all living with me, they used to prepare breakfast for me. But since they're not preparing breakfast anymore because they're not with me, I may end up going to the gym with my 2 girls and maybe my son if he wants to come, because my oldest one is getting certified as a Pilates teacher and she needs guinea pigs. So she's gonna coach me. She's gonna train me at the gym. So that will be my program for Mother's Day. One thing I wanted to ask you to reflect on today is, what do you, and that's one of, I touched on it as part of the 4 questions, like what did you consciously teach to your kids or pass on to your kids from what you know and who you are? That's not really in the question actually, but it's another side of it. So what did you consciously want to, I'm looking for the word in English, because in French is inculquer. I know it won't tell you anything, but it's something that you somehow infuse someone with. You teach it to them and to your kids, and that you now see the results. For me, there are several things, but one thing I really like is that when they go to other people's houses, they say hello, and when they give something is given to them, they say thank you. Because when my kids were younger and they had friends over, some of them, I was giving them a ride from school to their house or something, they didn't even say thank you. And I found it very rude. They were coming in my car without saying hi, nothing. So I always made it a point to tell my kids, I hope that you're not doing that when you're being picked up. I hope that you're really grateful and you say thank you to the person, because it's not something that is granted, that should be taken for granted. So that's one thing, that is the thing that comes to my mind right now. What is yours, or what are yours? Because I'm sure there are several. And the other thing, today is going to be a very short episode. The other thing that I wanted to bring to mind for yourself is, we always, and especially if you listen to me, I know that you like self-development and self-empowerment, and we try to unlearn what we've learned that doesn't serve us, and a lot of it has been taught to us by our parents or our caretakers or our teachers, but mainly our parents. And it's not to blame them, because they give us what they know, and we do the same with our kids. We made mistakes too. But we rarely talk about the positive of it. What did your parents pass on to you? What did they teach you that you love it so much? You made it a point to teach it to your kids, to raise them with those values. I know that for me, well, I was saying that I had kids sleeping at my house. That's something that I've learned from my mother. I remember 2 occasions where she brought home some coworkers. One of them was suicidal, and she stayed a week at our house. And the other was, I don't know, there was also a problem, and she also slept over. But she always was very generous in that way with people. Another thing is, my parents are very, very decent, good people. And that's something that I really wanted to pass on to my kids. The love of food, the love of having cooked meals. That's something I passed on to my kids. What else? The love of books. Although my kids don't read as much, because in this generation, they don't as much, but they still read. Ooh, which reminds me, I was supposed to order the 4 agreements, because my middle daughter asked it from me and I forgot. But the love of knowledge, let's say. I love that. They have a very inquisitive mind, and that's something that I encourage. When they were young, I tried to expose them to so many things. To start with music, for example, I exposed them to Pavarotti and classical music and opera music, and at the same time, on the other side of it, to rock and roll and belly dance music and French music. All kinds of variety of music, so that their brain would be open to it. Because that's something that I got from my father too. I remember I used to listen to a lot of very diverse music. He could come home one day with a vinyl, because at the time there were vinyls, of Phil Collins, and the next day it was Mozart. So I bathed into that. I bathed into having, we call it a library in French, of books at home, like, shelves with a lot of classic, which I didn't like at the time, but I read them when I was older, and oh my God, how well written they were. So exposure. I took that from my parents. Exposure to open the mind. And I made sure I passed that on to my kids. So what are some values, some attitudes, some approaches that your parents passed on to you, that you made a point to pass on to your kids? And how can you remember that often, because I was having a conversation with my friend this morning. We were talking about parents and the fact that in one family, we can see our parents in a certain way and our sisters or brothers are seeing something completely different, and how sometimes it is very sad that they would only remember what the parents did wrong or didn't do according to their expectations or in the format that they were expecting it. And I really emphasized that it's like anything else in life. I said in French, wherever you put your eyes, that's what your reality is going to be. In other words, what you focus on becomes your reality. So if you ruminate everything that they didn't do right, you feel like a victim. You feel sour. And it's really sad because our parents are not eternal and sometimes they're gone already, and we're still reliving that sourness which poison our day-to-day life. Life is short. So be mindful to, of course, see what you need to correct and let go of that you've been passed on, but then let it go and really focus and put your eyes and your mind on what is so great that they were able to raise you with, pass on to you, etc., etc. And that's my contribution for your Mother's Day. I hope you had a nice celebration, and I hope you celebrate more than just once a year. Beautiful Mother's Day, and be proud of yourself. Motherhood, parenthood is one of the hardest things to do on earth, and there is no manual. So kudos to you. Bye for now. Mwah. Being a single mom can be challenging, but you don't have to face it alone. Join our community at facebook.com/groups/single and doing it all, and receive tools, tips, and free group coaching. And if you like this podcast, please review and rate us on iTunes. I would really appreciate it.